Hey everyone, it's Chris here. Today I'm going to take you through all the items that I carry in my first aid kit when I'm out hiking, and also give you guys a few tips on how you can be best prepared when you're out on the trail. So I've just laid out all of the individual items that I've put together for my own first aid kit. So I'll just take you guys through each of these individually. So I'll just go around and start over here with the bandages. So this first one, that's actually a snake bite bandage. Now I don't carry that all year round, but I tend to just take that whenever the weather is warmer in Australia. We've got a lot of venomous snakes here, so it's very important to carry a compression bandage on the unlikely chance someone gets bitten by a snake. So that's about a 10-meter bandage, and it's got the indicators on there to make sure that you're getting the right amount of compression around the snake bite, just to stop venom moving through the bloodstream. So next to that one, there's a heavyweight crepe bandage. So that's more designed for strapping up, limbs or such as ankle sprains, just to ensure that you've got good support around any sort of strains or sprains that happen. Next to that one, there's a lighter weight bandage. That's just an elastic bandage for probably lighter strains or less severe sort of injuries or wounds that you might have. Below that one is a triangular bandage, so primarily used for creating slings for an arm, if you need to actually strap an arm for any types of arm or shoulder injuries. Next to that one, that's just another cloth bandage. It's about, I think, a 400mm by 600mm bandage to soak up blood from any wounds, and also just to be used as an additional bandage for other types of injuries. Just below that then there's a bunch of normal band-aids. I've probably got about 15 band-aids there just for smaller sort of cuts and scrapes. And then down the bottom here I've got some gloves just to be used for sterilisation when you're treating another person. If you need to just keep wounds sterile, or if you're making sure that you're also protecting yourself from blood potentially from another person as well. And then up the top, next to all the bandages, I've got some betadine antiseptic solution, just to use to make sure that you are getting any wounds clean before they're being bandaged. And next to that there's also a little tube of Stingos. That's just designed for any stings or bites that you might need to treat from things like bull ants or wasps or bees. So that just takes a bit of the sting away from those sort of bites and stings. And then below that I've also got just 4 antiseptic wipes, again just for doing wound cleaning prior to bandaging something up. Okay, and then below those, all the bandages, I've got a few different types of medications. So these ones here are GastroStop. So that's just to treat any bouts of diarrhea that you may potentially get when you're out on the trail. Below that, those are just some ibuprofen, basically just obviously used for pain relief. And then the other ones there, that's just Telfast. So those ones are for, that's an antihistamine basically for any allergy treatment or allergic reactions. Okay, and then up the top here, I've just got a few different little bits and pieces. So I just carry a few cotton tips, and cotton balls. That's just used to treat cleaning for little small wounds. Cotton balls can also just be used as something under a bandage just to help soak up any blood that might be there. And underneath that, I've just got a couple of elastic clips that are used on the end of bandages, and a few safety pins as well for the same purpose. And then next to that is just a couple of little tubes of saline solution, and that's really designed for any potential eye cleaning that you need to do, or even just dry eyes. So I just carry a couple of those with me as well. Then down here, just got a few tools that I carry with me. So that's just a little pair of tweezers on the left, just for taking out splinters or potentially pulling ticks out. There's also just a pair of round nose scissors, really just for cutting bandages. And I prefer to carry the round nose ones instead of just ones with sharp ends on them. More so just so it doesn't sort of poke a hole in anything while I'm carrying it in my pack. Next to that, I've got just a needle and thread. The needle has actually just got a bit of duct tape around the end of it. Again, just so that sharp end's not sticking into anything. And really it's just, you know, mainly for just doing any repairs that I may need to do when I'm out hiking. But, you know, worst case, you may just have to use it to potentially stitch a wound, but you hopefully don't need to do that. I've also just got a Bic mini lighter. I actually carry that as my backup source of fire anyway. My stove actually has its own igniter on it, but I carry that as my additional source of fire. But it's in the first aid kit also, just to sterilize anything that needs to be clean if you're treating a wound. So if you need to you know, even just sticking a needle into a blister, just making sure that that's sterilized before you do that. And then the final things, I just carry a pen and a little notepad. That's really just to be able to, you know, record any details that you might need to write down about a patient that you're treating. But also it's just generally there just to make notes on anything else you might need to record while you're hiking. And on the pen, I've actually just got some Leuko tape wrapped around that. There's a fair bit there, and that's really for blister treatment. I decided to use Leuko tape rather than moleskin because I'd used moleskin in the past on a few other hikes when I had blisters, and just found that as soon as I started sweating, it actually just started to sort of slip off. So I didn't have sort of very good staying power, I guess. So I've heard very good things about Leuko tape and how well it actually sticks on, regardless of how much you're sweating or even going through water. So that's why I sort of decided to use that instead. So that's pretty much everything in the kit. A few of these things go into some little Ziploc bags inside the larger Ziploc bag that I carry, just to make sure that everything's going to be, you know, waterproofed and protected. So that's pretty much my kit that I've put together. So all of those items I just keep in a Ziploc bag, and it's a nice compact little kit, and that actually stays in the top compartment of my pack, just on the underside of the lid. That packs down, you know, nice and small, and it's got all the essentials in there that I need. So a few tips. I'm going to give you guys 5 tips about the way that you can best be prepared with your own first aid kit and the skills that you have to deal with first aid situations when you're out hiking. So number 1, build your own first aid kit. Take the time to actually put together all of your own items that you want to carry in your hiking first aid kit. It's easy enough to just go and buy one of the pre-made kits from a store or a pharmacy, but the reality is that you'll probably just put that straight into your bag and you don't actually know exactly how to use probably half the stuff in there, and you don't actually need to use some of the stuff that's in that pre-made kit. So the best thing to do is put your own one together, and then you know exactly what's gone into it. and you're going to be certain that everything that you have in there is going to be an essential thing for your hiking trips. Number 2, understand how to use everything in your kit. It's really important that you know, if you needed to use it, how you need to use each of those things that you're carrying with you. There's no point in just having a whole bunch of stuff in there that you just chuck into a first aid kit and then not know how to actually use it in a situation when you need to. So that's really important. Just know each of the items that go in there and how to use them if a situation arises where you have to. Number 3, every hiker should carry their own first aid kit. So the idea is that if someone requires first aid, that you use their first aid kit first to treat that person. Even if you're hiking in a group, everyone should still have their own personal first aid kit. So you may be in a situation where you've got several people requiring treatment at the same time. You need to be sure that everyone's going to have enough first aid supplies to be able to treat everyone in that group if they needed it in a group emergency situation. So make sure that you're not relying on others without any first aid items. Carry your own kit. Number 4, you need to ensure that you're regularly checking all the items in your first aid kit and the condition of those, and if anything needs replacement, you should take out that item and replace it. So these are things like medications, for example, and tablets. They obviously perish over time and have expiry dates, particularly when you're outdoors as well. They may actually deteriorate more quickly than they would if they were just inside a cupboard at home. So you just need to keep on top of all of that. Make sure that you're replacing things as you need to, so that if and when you need to use it, you're going to have items that are going to be in good condition. Number 5, when you're going out hiking, at least know some basic first aid. So you're going to be able to just provide treatment to anyone that needs it or to yourself. And ideally, you should do a first aid course, or even better, a wilderness first aid course. So giving yourself the skills that you need to use for all kinds of situations and emergencies, so that you're arming yourselves with the skills to be able to use those out in the wilderness when you're hiking, and helping both yourself and also to be able to help others. So there you go, there's a full rundown on all the stuff that I carry in my first aid kit when I'm out hiking, and hopefully that and the tips that I've just given you help you when you're out on the trail and needing to use first aid. So what are some things that you carry in your first aid kit when you go out hiking? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit the subscribe button, and to get any notifications of new videos that are coming out, hit the little bell symbol. So I hope you guys have found this video useful, and I look forward to seeing you out on the trail next time.